Hey guys, and welcome to my latest live stream, coming to you from the downstairs area, not the fangirl cave. I'm Jessica Dwyer, VIP entertainment reporter for Zinni62 Media, and I am here to talk about Hamilton, which premiered at midnight PST last night on Disney Plus, and it was a huge deal, and it is a huge deal, and the reason for that is this. This show is this is a recording of the original cast. Lin-Manuel Miranda. Let's see, it's a huge cast. Jonathan Groff, Leslie Odom Jr., Anthony Ramos, Philippa Sue, Christopher Jackson, the entire original cast of this show, which is the ones that made it the massive hit that it was to become and still is. And they did it on midnight of July 3rd. And just in time for July 4th weekend, of course. And it's a big deal because right now, this is the kind of thing we really need to watch. It's something to take our minds off the horrible crap that is our country right now and the world in general with everything happening. But this specific story and how this came to be and the cast itself is amazing. And Lin-Manuel Miranda is just, he is a wordsmith beyond measure with this. And it had a lot to live up to because Hamilton just it was a movement. And you couldn't get tickets. It was this massive deal. People who saw it said it changed their lives, that kind of a thing. And it kind of revitalized Broadway a lot, and it broke records. Everybody knows the story of it, of what happened with Hamilton and how it just became this massive thing. So the fact that Disney Plus just kind of really recently said, "Hey, we're gonna have this, and we're gonna be the exclusive place to see this," is a big deal. Now they're going to do a film version, an actual film version of this. This isn't a film, quote unquote, film version. This is the actual Broadway production, recorded, high end recording, and it is gorgeous. And the sound is fantastic. It looks great. And it had a lot to live up to. I mean, I had friends that were Hamilton just crazy convert fans. They people I know had seen it. The ticket prices were insane. It had a lot to live up to and hype. So I was like, okay, I'm watching it today, first day out. I'm going to see if it lives up to all the hype of it. And by God, it does. The thing that I love about this musical, other than the fact that just everybody's fantastic in it, the dialogue and the songs. I mean, everybody's singing constantly. There's like really not. Maybe like 5 minutes. It's a lot of energy. I mean, this is a lot of work. They're in full on frock coats and ruffles and these dresses, and they're on stage, and I did not realize this thing was almost 3 hours long, which is why this is so late coming out. So my apologies there, but 3 freaking hours, man, and they are working it the entire time. And that's the thing that I was going to say, is that I really, really, I'd never seen it either. So hi, Zinni. So the thing I really, really loved about this, and you don't really hear as much, you hear more about, oh, look, it's the diversity of this cast and this music and everything. But man, I got to tell you, what I really respected and loved about this was the stage. And the reason I say that is, oh, so your head is centered on screen. Sorry. There you go. You can see my Deadpool t-shirt. So the stage for Hamilton is very sparse, but utilized perfectly. It's very, what is a good word for this? The stage for Hamilton, it doesn't make itself intrusive, but it's utilized in a way that the cast can change it and make it what they need it to be. It's just the same stage for the entire play or musical, but it's in flux. It allows movement, and that's what this show is very frenetic, very moving. There's dancing, the singing, they move around. It's a bare stage for the most part, but it's utilized so brilliantly that it doesn't take away from what the important thing is, which is the characters and the words and the music. A lot of stage shows, a lot of musicals, you can tell that the money didn't have to go into the stage and the special effects, because there are none other than the lights and the people themselves, and that's what you're there for, and that's why this is so good, because the actors and the dancers and the singers are what your focus is on. And then there are things like the reverse it scene right after Hamilton gets married to Eliza, and you have this really cool. Everything just stops, and people start moving backwards, and the colors change, and everybody reverses back to where they were, and it's fantastic because it's relying not on special effects to do this, but the movement of the actors and the dancers, but also the stage. The one kind of special effect, if you will, for the stage is the floor. The main floor there's a circle, a big circle with another circle within it, and the floor can reverse and move. And so when the dancers and the actors are moving around, they can walk in place, or they can have people walking this way and this way, and it can go alternate ways. So it's really gorgeous and simple. It's a simplistic layout, but they utilize it in such a way you don't realize just how bare bones it is, and your focus is where it should be. And I really, really like that. The words, the story itself, about this man who rose above where he should have wound up to a lot of people to become who he was. The cast, this celebration of diversity, even though, these characters are being played by a different race than who they were in history. It's a celebration of diversity in our country, of where it went and how it is, and what America is, for want of a better word. Lin-Manuel Miranda described it in a way, and I'm probably going to butcher what he said because he's far more eloquent, but what he said was, this is a celebration of old America by new America. And I love that. I love those words. That's a great way to describe this. And right now, with everything going on, this is what we need to focus on and see. It's a beautiful story. It's a sad story, but it's also a heroic story. And it's history. And it's history brought to life in a way that is going to engage you. Someone, even your kids, they put this on Disney Plus for a reason. He, as Lin-Manuel Miranda said, he gave 2 fucks to get it on Disney Plus. So that's the only thing that's taken away, are 2 F-bombs in the show. And the rest of it is what you got when you went and saw it on Broadway, if you could afford it originally. But it is amazing, and you should check it out. As I said, it's 3 hours long, basically. It's like 2 hours, 40 minutes or so. And it's worth it. It flows beautifully. It's gorgeous, and really, really amazing. And you'll find yourself humming songs way after. Because right now I've got I'm not gonna miss my shot going in my head, and you will too. Just be aware of that. That's going to happen. I wish I had the Disney Plus had a YouTube channel so I could put it on TV like I'm watching you now. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen, but I really, really loved it. I believe the feature film version is probably going to be a couple of years before we get it, because they haven't shot anything for that yet. But I like this more. I wish more Broadway musicals could be seen this way. There is a Broadway.com, I believe. I think Broadway online, Broadway.com. There's a streaming service that has a lot of filmed musicals that you can see. YouTube has a lot of them on there that you can check out. The I just blanked on the name. There is a live theater. I actually did a video about this, about the Frankenstein that they did, that no one hadn't seen since it was on movie theaters. And they've been having like live, well, not live streams, but they've been re-showing things like this where they videoed the actual play. And you can find that on YouTube as well. They do them limited times. Andrew Lloyd Webber did something like this too with a bunch of his musicals. But there's a secret thing that some people know of, that Broadway actually has a library. If you're a Broadway or like a theater student in New York, you have access to this crazy library. Basically, any Broadway musical, Broadway production they have an archive of them, and you have access to those. And that includes the short-lived and tragic Dance of the Vampires that came out a few years ago, which was the biggest flop in Broadway history. I know this is supposed to be a Hamilton video, but I have to bring this up. The biggest flop in Broadway history, or I think it still holds that title, that dubious title, is Dance of the Vampires. And I think somebody actually leaked all of that onto YouTube. But it was by Jim Steinman. Steinman kind of disavowed himself of it because it was the American version that flopped. 1 second before I cough on you guys. I'm going to drink my Powerade. But the American version of it died horribly. And that was a big deal because Michael Crawford was the lead in it. And it was based off Roman Polanski's Fearless Vampire Killers. And it's a huge production. And Jim Steinman's music, who you know is the guy that wrote for Meatloaf, he wrote Celine Dion's It's All Coming Back to Me Now. These epic, operatic, Making Love Out of Nothing at All, I think was his too, that Air Supply did. So what this play did was it took a bunch of his music, retooled it for vampires in this story that the play was supposed to be, this musical was supposed to be about. And it was kind of cursed because the American version was supposed to happen, big fanfare. This guy that had an amazing voice was supposed to be the lead in it, and literally, and he'd like wowed everybody in the UK and in Europe with his lead vampire role. He's Count von Krolak. And what happened was he died, I believe, of a heart attack, literally 2 months or 3 months prior to this supposed to happen. And because he died, they recast with Michael Crawford, who was just coming off of this massive run of Phantom of the Opera. And so when Crawford took it over, he demanded all these changes, made it a comedy because it had comedic elements, but it was still a horror story. And so what happened with Crawford was he made it like as camp as it could be, and had this weird Italian accent, even though he was supposed to be a Romanian nobleman. And so Steinman kind of walked away from that, and what happened was like this millions of dollars just go away, and it died. It died horribly, and I'm sad about that because beautiful beautiful set design, beautiful music. But yeah, and here's the funny part. Even though it died horribly on Broadway here, it's still performed in the UK, in Germany. In Germany, it's huge. Bunch of other places, so they still perform it there. Hamilton's not going to have that problem. It's already made all of its money, and then some, and it's still continuing to make money. So if you have not checked out Hamilton, get your free Disney Plus subscription now and go watch it. And then also The Mandalorian. But definitely check it out. It's so good. It did live up to the hype, and it had a lot of hype to live up to. So definitely check it out. And also, do I have a favorite part of Hamilton? Oh, I have to think about it because I literally just watched it. I just, oh, man, I like the little sly bits that they sneak in, like the play is about the girl. I love the whole going after the girls, and I also loved Eliza falling in love with him. I'm a mush pot, I guess. I don't know, but there's just a lot. I have to think about it, and I have to rewatch it because I like all of those bits. And Lin-Manuel Miranda is just great in it. I love the guy they got playing George Washington. His name is Christopher Jackson. I also really like King George. I really loved how they just made him so vicious and crazy and absurd, but at the same time, like what hits you when you think of it? I got to go back to King George for a second with this, because he comes out on the stage and he looks absurd because he's all in his royal garb, and he's singing, and he's supposed to be coming off as nice, and he's then just flat out telling you he's going to kill your family if you don't love him. And while he's singing, they do this close up of him, and he has frothing spittle coming out of his mouth, like he's just crazy. And it's terrifying for a second, and you realize just how nuts he is. And it's such a perfect contrast to what we have going on right now. It really is. It's so timely that they did this. So yeah, I have to think about it. It's still fresh, but so good. But there's these little bits that are sticking out to me, and that's one of them. Just yeah, and then the whole jealousy of Aaron Burr, and there's it's just good. It's smart. It's so smart. So I suggest everybody watch it. As I said, you can get that free Disney Plus trial and just watch this. Make sure you have 3 hours to kill for it, because you're not going to want to stop it. And then watch The Mandalorian. But it is good and well done, Lin-Manuel Miranda and company. Very well done. And thank you, Disney Plus, for bringing this, because this is the kind of thing we need right now. So good timing. And with that, I'm out because I'm, pardon me, man. The fireworks are already starting to go off around here, and the allergies are kicking in. So I'm ready for our entire neighborhood where I live right now. I can already hear them exploding. It's going to smell like gunpowder here in a minute. So kind of perfect right now. So anyway, guys, thank you. I will be back. Good job, Zinni. You should pay Disney Plus. They're worth it. I will be back in a day or so. I'll get my Powerade. I'm good. Powerade when you don't want to cough. But I will be back in a day or so with some great footage and audio because I interviewed Nia DaCosta, who is the director of the new Candyman movie. And we get to share with you because I interviewed her for my upcoming issue of Horror Hound. I will be talking to you about Candyman. If you don't know of that movie, you will after I'm done with talking to you about it, and why it is so good and why it's perfect again for the times that we're living in, and why there are so many layers to that movie and the new one. So with that, guys, thank you. I will talk to you later, and peace out. Have a good night. Stay safe and spread the word, not the virus. Talk to you guys later. Bye. Oh, you can probably hear him right now. Yay.